Hey everybody, Graphite Forest here. Today with another video about how to draw. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing technique. Now, when starting with technique, there's a couple different things to keep in mind. There's the way you hold your pencil, where you hold your pencil, and how you're drawing with your arm. Now, first thing is your grip. I generally speaking will use a 3-finger grip, sometimes a 4-finger grip, and that's so I can get details. If I'm doing something looser and lighter, like I'm trying to get the shape of hair, I'm going to draw with the middle of the pencil and with a really loose grip. That way I can have that loose S curve going on. So, when you draw with the tip of your pencil, with a 3-finger grip, 4-finger grip, maybe even a 5-finger grip, that's going to give you very controlled, very small and precise lines. If I want to draw a circle and I want to draw it really small, I'm going to go with this kind of configuration of my hand. Gives you pretty good control and you can draw pretty well that way. Now, when you're trying to draw a hair, like I said, so let's just draw a quick face. There. And we want to give a really long flowing hair. You're going to go with that. Middle of the pencil, lightly holding it, stuff like that. It's kind of messy, but you know, just the idea. Now then, when you're trying to draw something, I can't really think of, I don't really ever draw with like the end of my pencil, but I suppose you could do that same thing, like right here. And that way you could have even greater like flow to the lines that you draw. I don't know. I don't really ever draw from that point. It's mostly just in the middle and at the tip. Now, another thing that I said earlier, we first have the way you hold the pencil, where you hold the pencil, and then how you have your arm. Now, the way I draw, at least the way I try to draw, is I try to draw from my shoulder. Generally speaking, a lot of artists, they'll draw just from their wrist and just from their fingers. What I mean by that, is when you're trying to draw a circle again, so right here, you have that 3-finger grip or 4-finger. I'll go with the 3-finger. So, you draw your circle, and they're just using their wrist. Just using their wrist, sometimes just using their fingers. So their fingers are the only part that moves, or their wrist is the only part that moves. It's better if you use your wrist. It's even better if you can use your elbow. Like if you're trying to draw a really big line, you want to pivot your elbow back and forth instead of you want to keep your wrist, you want to keep it steady and stationary. That way, you can get a very clean, very smooth line. And I'm just resting my elbow on the table. Another thing you can do is you can draw from your shoulder, which means you don't even have your elbow rested on the table or whatever. You just draw straight like that. That way you can draw even larger lines with them still being nice and smooth, because your whole arm from the shoulder, you can move your arm a lot. You can move from the elbow, you can move it a lot. You can still move it a lot, but not as much. From the wrist, you can move, see, you have a nice distance. You can get a pretty large line, but it starts losing its ability. Like if you're trying to draw a straight line, it's pretty difficult unless you're moving your elbow and your shoulder. So, moral of the story. How you move your arm is very important. It's not just how you move the pencil, it's how you move your arm while holding the pencil. So, we've discussed how you hold the pencil, where you hold the pencil, and how you draw with the pencil. This is all very basic stuff, and I hope you learned something from it, and I'll see you in the next video, everybody. Alright, see you later.